Hey everyone, Dennis K here with Belize Islands Real Estate. Hope you all are doing well today. Hey listen, sometimes Steph and I get the question, why do we decide to leave the United States in the first place? And mind you, this was almost 22 years ago. So coming up here, I think it's July 4th or 5th, 2025, we will have been living abroad for 22 years. We left in 2003. And there were a lot of reasons why we decided to leave. First of all, it was never meant to be a permanent move. It was meant to be just a temporary test, see if we could live the dream somewhere. Our initial goal was just to do it for a year. So when we moved to Belize, we had sold off the car and the boat and, all of our material possessions and took what we had left, such as furniture and things like that, and just put it into storage. Kept it downstairs at Steph's parents' basement, my parents' basement, a little bit down my sister's basement, thinking full well that after the year we would end up moving back to Michigan and then resetting up what I would call a normal life, going back to something in the engineering field, maybe something in sales, corporate sales, something in the car business. That's what we were doing back there in Michigan. But that was the thought, man. So go somewhere for a year while we're young and just live an adventurous life for just 12 months. And then, after that 12 months is done, all right, go back. I'll find a job, we'll rent another apartment, maybe buy a house, rebuy cars and, all that kind of good stuff that we thought we would have missed in the United States. We got down to Belize and realized that not only were we happier with a lot less. I'm talking when we moved to Belize, we moved with 2 suitcases. And that was it, 2 large suitcases. And that's all we needed. We had our laptop, we had our clothes, and other than that, what was there that we needed? And we realized living in Belize that we didn't need to start adding back material things. So we didn't add back a car, we didn't add back, a lot of extra things. We kept our life very simple. And then we found out that, hey, you know what? Living a simple life means you have a little bit of extra money. And with a little bit of extra money, you can go off and do things that you never had the opportunity to do before because you didn't have any money. I tell you what, living in the States, guys, you guys are, if you're watching this in the US or Canada, or maybe even parts of Europe, you're in a full-time job, maybe both of you, husband and wife, if you're working full-time, by the time you pay everything, and I'm talking, the taxes, general taxes, I'm talking your state tax and your federal tax, and then you just pay for your rent or your mortgage and your taxes on your home and keeping your cars running, maybe car payments, gas in the car, insurance, your health care. Health care is outrageous right now in the US. I can't imagine, even just the insurance cost, let alone, heaven forbid you get hurt, you break an ankle, get a kidney stone, you almost go bankrupt on that. And then you realize, wow, you know what? Other parts of the world, like Belize or parts of the Europe or parts of Asia, you can have an incredible life on a lot less money, and most of the time it's going to be better health care, better living conditions, more opportunities, and you're going to realize, you know what? Maybe I don't want to go back to the US. I go back once a year, see mom and dad, brother, sister, nieces, nephews, all that kind of good stuff, and love it for that time where they're visiting family. But I got to be honest, if it weren't for family, I wouldn't go back at all. Not that I have anything against the United States. It's a tremendous country, lots of opportunities. In fact, me and my friends around the world in different countries, whether it be Australia, Turkey, Belize, France, we talk about, the pros and cons between the lifestyle you have in the States and maybe, for example, the lifestyle you have in Belize or France or Australia. There are definite pros and cons, but one of the things that really convinces me that I'll never move back to the US is I don't want to go back to that life. I like the life I have right now. I like the better health care. I like paying less taxes legally. I like having the opportunities to make new friends, choose my own path, where each year it can be a different chapter of my life. I don't have to live the same year over and over and over again in the same place. I get to travel the world, make new friends, and even aside from that, just the financial opportunities. You're living simply, so a lot of your money isn't going toward stuff just for stuff's sake. Like me, I haven't had a car in 20 years. 20 years, haven't had a car. Sometimes I get around younger people and they're like, oh man, did you see this new, whatever come out? I'm like, no, dude, I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what a brand of a car is or a make or model. I like the Teslas. Those pick me up sometimes in the Ubers. But other than that, I didn't even know the difference between the types of Teslas. I just like the Teslas. I just like them. So no car for 20 years, which means no car payment, no insurance, no gas, no maintenance on a car for 20 years. Imagine the savings, especially nowadays, for what some of you guys are paying. It's ridiculous. So imagine taking all that money, pouring it back into yourself, number one, for training. So you're learning skills to make money. You're opening up maybe micro businesses. You're learning a skill online. You have some money, you have some capital. So when investment comes along, you take advantage of it. Like right now, what I do is when I make sales in Belize, I take a portion of that and I just have fun with it. Just do a little splurge, take my wife out to a nice restaurant, do something fun. But then the other part, I store it away and I store it and I store it and I store it. And then when I get a little bit of money, boom, buy my next investment. I've been doing that now for 15, 16, 18 years. And it's fun to the life we have now. And at the same time, we keep it simple, guys. I tell people, no kids, no dog, no bird, no house. I rent where I want to live so I can use my money to invest in other real estate, which is a concept promoted by a lot of real estate investors. So keep your life simple and just experience each day to the fullest. The freedom of where you want to go, who you want to go there with, what do you want to do, and sometimes you just can't have that. Live in the United States. I know I couldn't. So, anyways, if you're watching this, hopefully this is a little bit of an inspiration to you to do something, whatever that something might be that's different, that might be challenging for you. You want to get out, see the world, do something different. Hit me up in the comments below. What is it that you have on your bucket list that you're just itching to get to? Whether it be taking an around the world trip, going sailing in the Mediterranean, taking a trip to Belize, looking at some jungle property, looking at some beachfront property. What is it that's on your list that you want to start to work towards? Let me know what that is. Maybe I can help. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate it. Have a great Friday weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.